on this next example, it says, the top 5 salaries and the bottom 5 salaries for 2010 New York Yankees are shown in the table below. Salaries are in millions of dollars and are rounded to the nearest hundredth. Well, here's the top 5 salaries and here's the bottom 5 salaries. They're saying, hey, find the MAD, or the mean absolute deviation, for each data set. And then they want you at the end to round to the nearest hundredth. So, with my calculator, I do the first one, which is the top 5 salaries. And you'll notice they have it done already here for you. They took them, added them up, and then divided by how many numbers. There's 5, and they got 23.40. The mean on the top 5 salaries is 23.40 million. Fabulous. We know that. That is the mean for this. Now we're going to do the exact same thing for the second one. But before we do that, we have to find the MAD. What do? We take each of these numbers and subtract it from your mean. So here you take the first number, 33, subtract that by 23.40, put zeros. I'm not going to do the whole thing, but you should know how to do subtraction. Once you subtract each single one, voila, you get these numbers, 0.45, 0.44, and so forth. There they are. And now, remember, don't forget you have to subtract each of these numbers at the very top, right here, okay? That's where they got these numbers. Oh, I was pointing to the wrong one originally. Okay, so then, sorry, that was the wrong one originally. So here, once you do the subtraction, you'll go ahead and then you divide those by 5. And guess what they got? 419. All right, now they want you to do the same thing for the bottom. Here's where I goofed up originally. But now we're doing the bottom right here. So they take them all and you find the mean. So they took all of these numbers and divided it by 5, as you see right here, right there. And they got 0.01 for their mean. Great, now they have to take each of these numbers and subtract each of those numbers at the top. They're going to subtract them by the mean. So you take the bottom salaries and you subtract it from the mean. So if you do the first example, you take 0.45. Of course, I'm looking right here, kids. Look right here is where I'm looking at. I'm going to subtract that from this mean that I got. That's my first one. Notice how it is right here, matching this one. You're going to do that for each of these numbers. You're going to subtract. I'm not going to sit there and subtract it, but then when you've got the MAD, then when you divide by 5, you've got the MAD. The MAD now is 0.43. That is my MAD. Whoa, MAD. MAD. That doesn't look like a mad face. The MAD is 0.43. What does that mean? Well, let me take a look. My MAD on the bottom 5 salaries was 0.43. My MAD on the top 5 salaries was 23.40. This means that the mean absolute deviation of the bottom 5 salaries is more spread out than the mean deviation of the top. The top 5 salaries are closer to the mean. So on average, they probably earn closer to what the mean is here, which is 23.4 million. The MAD is over here. Oh, I'm just messing this up. Let me start that again. I got too many circles going on here. Right here. The MAD, for the bottom 5 salaries is 0.01. The MAD for the top 5 salaries is 4.19. So that means at the bottom, right there, my little triangle with my finger, the bottom has a less spread. That means that the bottom 5 salaries are closer to the actual mean. This is 4.19, so on average, the salaries are a little bit further away from the mean, which is 23.40. This has less spread from the mean, and this one has more spread from the mean. Okay, so let's see if you've got it. Everyone, go ahead and do example B. Pause there and wait for your teacher to give you your answer once it gives you a couple minutes to try it. When you're done with this, you're going to start your homework and have a good day. On our first example, we're going to see that it gives you numbers here. And this says the table shows the maximum speeds of 8 roller coasters. Find the mean absolute deviation of the set of data. Describe what the mean absolute deviation represents. So for this, we're going to take a look at all the numbers you have. It's 58, 88, 40, 60, 72, 66, 80, and 48. We're right here at the top. And now we're going to do what we normally do. Our first step is to find the mean. So we take these numbers and we're going to do exactly what, sorry guys, I'm still sick. We're going to do exactly what you've been doing to find the mean. We're going to add them all up and divide by how many numbers there are. So you'll see they took 58, 88, 48, 60, 72, and they basically added all those numbers up, divided by 8 because there are 8 numbers in the data set right here. When you divide, you get 64. All right, so your mean is equal to 64. Now, what you want to do is to find the absolute value of the differences between each one of these numbers right here. You're going to subtract it by the mean. So you literally are going to take a calculator. Yes, you're allowed to use calculators, so this is going to be quick, or else it takes you a long time. You're going to take the first number and you're going to go 64, whoops, get my pen mark, 64, which is your mean. Take that first number there, subtract it by 58. You do all the math like you normally do. You get 6 for that number. Then you do the next number. I'm not going to do all of these, but you get the drift, right? You're subtracting basically all of these numbers from 64. So far I have a 6, I have 24, and you do this for each of these numbers. You'll end up, I'm not going to subtract them all, of course, but you can do this on your own. You end up with this amount of different numbers here. That's because I subtracted each one of these numbers by the mean. So you'll see them right here in this step. Now what do you do with these numbers? Well, I'm going to now find the mean of those numbers. So here, now you find the mean again of each of these numbers. Notice how you have the real mean right there at the top, 64, and how when you took all of these numbers and subtracted them, you ended up with a new mean. But these are the mean. This is called MAD. And this is literally the average distance of each one of these. Once you divide them by the exact number, and I'm over here on step 3, right here. Once you divide them, you get the actual mean average deviations. Yay! And that is your MAD. My MAD is 12.5. Here it is. Now, what does that tell me? That tells me the average spread, the average distance from all of these numbers here at the very top is about 12.5 from the mean. So each of these are on average about 12.5 units away from the actual mean. That is basically the MAD. So I'm going to have you guys write the steps so you know what you're doing. First, I'm going to erase all this. And I'm going to write the steps up for you real quickly. Right here. And I want you to make sure you guys write these out. So the first thing you're going to do is write 1, find mean, like we always do. That's what we did right here. Right here. We take the numbers, we divide by how many there are. You find the average. Then 2, you're going to subtract each number from the mean. Go ahead, write this down while I'm writing this down. And 3. That is, by the way, that's called the MAD when you do that. MAD. That's what that's called, right? Then you find the average. Whoops. You find the mean of the MAD. Like we did right here. Boom, right there. Let's circle that in a different color. All those numbers that we found when we subtracted it from the mean, now we're going to find the MAD by dividing it by the same amount, where there's 8 numbers. And now you know that 12.5 is what the MAD is. So when they ask you to explain, what does even the MAD mean? Well, you can say this, just like you see here. The MAD, the mean absolute deviation, right here, is 12.5. This means that the average distance of each of these guys is 12.5 from the mean. Go ahead and do got it right now, and your teacher will give you the answer. You are to do that on your whiteboards and show her or him the answer, and then they will let you know if you got it correct. Yes, you may use calculators. In today's lesson, you're going to be doing chapter 11, and you're going to be doing the lesson 3, which is mean absolute deviation. I'm sorry, lesson 4, which is mean absolute deviation. And what is mean absolute deviation? Please write the highlighted in your notebook, and you need to pause sometimes. You can. One of the students can pause it, Abraham or whoever it is, from core A, and from core B, Vanessa or Yesenia can load this. And anyways, back to what is mean absolute deviation, and people call it MAD, M-A-D for short. And that's basically you're looking at a set of data and you see how much each one of those numbers, how far away it is from the mean. Basically, that's what you're trying to see, what the spread of it is. Is it far away, most numbers, from the mean, or most numbers pretty close to the mean?